we go. Anything to say to your millions of fans out there?
Like tens.
Tens of fans out there?
Tens.
Where are we going?
Lake Murray. Lake Murray.
You said you couldn't tell you? I don't know, just tagging along for the ride.
He's excited. What's the temperature?
It's 102 right now.
102.
Finally got everything set up. When we booked this trip a month ago, we didn't anticipate it being 107 fucking degrees when we got here. So I kind of got flustered and did things in the wrong order and had to redo everything, but we finally got set up. We're gonna go walk in the water to cool off and then have some supper. Pretty good spot, right on the water. Heck yeah.
Oh,
I will slap you. Take me back to the shore.
oh, baby girl.
He's like, Mama, I was
oh, thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you.
Oh no, there's a boat right there.
I got dirt all up in my pants.
Alright, so we're at my parents' campsite. They're at the lake with us. They got this splitter on their hose line. And it goes to these misters on their awning. It's genius. Alright, so I messed up pretty bad. Like really bad. I don't think all of it was my fault, but most of it probably was. So we got home from supper last night, and I wanted to get a little shot of the sunset because it was real nice out, but it was starting to get a little bit darker. And if you're not super familiar with DJI drones, they have all these sensors, 360 top and bottom. They're obstruction avoidance sensors, but they don't work super well in low light situations. And it was getting a little bit darker. I never got the warning that they weren't working, so I never even thought about it, but they weren't. And I was flying in to land, and the obstruction warning didn't work, and I clipped a tree with one of the propellers. It was actually this one, just a small limb, and that obviously caused it to go off course and run right into the middle of a big old tree back there. Broke one of the motor stands off, and then broke the mount for the gimbal. The camera itself is fine. Everything else appears to be fine. The motor on this one appears to be fine. So hopefully it's just a couple plastic pieces that they have to replace. I've already got my return label, so when we get home I'll send it back. Hopefully it's a quick fix and I can have this back, but kind of sucks because it happened the first night of our trip and I had some really cool ideas to film the kids on the boat, but we'll just have to use the GoPro and do some up close and personal shots. But I think we're about to go to, what's it called, do you remember?
Washington House?
No.
Governor's House? Yeah,
Governor's at Tucker's Tower.
Tucker's Tower.
We're gonna go check out Tucker's Tower and we'll tell you a little bit about it when we get there. In the last video I talked about how Lake Tenkiller and Greenleaf State Parks were built as part of the Works Progress Administration, part of the New Deal in the 1930s, and Lake Murray was part of the same program. Several leaders in Oklahoma, including a senator named Fred Tucker, lobbied for a lake to be built in southern Oklahoma as part of the WPA. The state legislature at the time approved the appropriation of $90,000 to purchase the 16,500 acres that the land sits on today, after Governor Alfalfa Bill Murray signed the bill, which he only agreed to do when he was assured that the lake would be named after him. A fun fact about Lake Murray is that it was designed by Herbert Meyer, who also helped design Yosemite, Yellowstone, and Grand Canyon National Parks. Many of the structures you see at Lake Murray are very similar to structures that you'll see in those parks. As you saw in the last video, the Nature Center at Lake Tenkiller was closed for the holiday the week we were there, and the Nature Center at Greenleaf was pretty neat, but we made it through the whole thing in about 5 steps. The bathrooms were nice though. I pooped there. Lake Murray, on the other hand, has a really awesome nature center. They have skulls, bones, hides, stones, and all sorts of representations of things that you can find at Lake Murray. They even have a neat scavenger hunt for the kids, and if they find all the things on their list, they get a fun little prize like a magnet or a keychain when they turn in their card. The Nature Center is also where you can find Tucker Tower. Remember old Freddie Tucker who lobbied for the lake in the 1930s? Yep, the tower was named after him. It was completed in 1954. If you ask the right people, they'll tell you that the tower was originally intended to be a retreat for Oklahoma's governors, but was never used for that purpose. Instead, it was first used as a geological museum, and at some point during the 1970s, it became the park's Nature Center. Easily one of the most recognizable structures at any state park in Oklahoma, you have to visit Lake Murray Nature Center and Tucker Tower. This was our second visit, and it was just as interesting and captivating as the first.
card that you think fills in the blank best.
Oh, you hand it
And
to
she
her.
picks the one that she thinks
It's the funniest.
is what she thinks.
We don't get to hear everybody's answer.
Oh no, she does. She reads them all.
Yeah, yeah, she reads them out loud.
I can't.
Oh, strap on your goggles and get ready for blank.
Put on your helmet,
And
strap
strap
on your goggle, and get ready for...
Oh, this one. Big, fat, wiggly, squishy talking stick.
Attention students, this is Principal Butthead reminding you that we do not allow blank in the hallway. We do not allow showing everyone my blank.
We do not allow showing everyone my butt. You sure did to the
that today.
campground.
The whole RV park's all your full moon tonight.
Boys, no. Blank, yes. Boys, no.
Braden.
Covering my body with Vaseline and sliding on the floor like a slug, yes.
What's keeping Dad so busy in the garage? Cocktail weenies.
Okay.
The lunch lady.
What? Never met a lunch lady that would keep me busy in the garage.
Unless she had really good food.
I was the lunch lady today.
Hey, I gotta go with the lunch lady.
Disney proudly presents blank on ice. Disney proudly presents Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson on ice.
Did you hear about the new Avenger? She's blank. She's a naked lady in a painting.
They call me Mr. Pantalones.
Pantalones. No mas pantalones. That was Ethan. That was Ethan. He can't even look. That was Ethan.
And they call me Mr. Pee-Pee. Pee-Pee.
Feel good?
Oh yeah, it feels amazing.
Oh yeah.
Real nice.
Real nice. Huh? There's no fish down there. Jump in. We're not doing.
Well,
Oh my! Get it! Yes!
all right, we're live.
Pretty cool, huh?
How cool the giant there.
What did you think about that?
I loved it.
That was
You
fun.
started flipping it, and you said, hold on tight.
Yeah. And then I did that U-turn and you stopped screaming for a minute. You were concerned, I could tell. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, let's go. It's about to be go time. One. Well, hello. All right, go get it. She's shaking.
Put her down, baby.
Go.
Give it a break, baby.
Funny.
You get this while I get that.
Yeah, one of you gets one armhole, the other gets the other armhole. It's not that difficult.
That'll make 2 big butts in one.
What'd you think of your first camping trip, Ethan?
What? How do you think of your first camp? Good?
You like it?
Yeah.
What was your favorite part? Yeah. What part of it? Was it like just playing on it or the jet ski?
Jet ski.
Yeah, me too. What about you, Melly?
Boat.
The jet ski or like the slide and
Sliding and jet ski.
all of it? I like it. What did you not like about the boat?
One of the catfish kept surrounding us because everyone kept throwing food into the water.
Uh-huh.
And then a catfish stuck his little face up to get one.
What about you, Braden?
Everything.
Besides his lip getting somewhere.
Yeah, except I'm a swollen lip because of the sun.
Yeah.
I got some Dr. Piapa.
Okay. What about you, Mama?
I loved it. Just fun.
She rode on the
Just fun.
Just fun.
Just all around good times.
Good times.
Mama,
All right.
is your favorite part about the jet ski because you got to ride on it?
No, definitely not the jet ski.
Quick recap. So we left Tuesday evening around I think 3:30, headed down to Lake Murray State Park. We got there probably about 5:15 or so it wasn't too bad of a trip. We went right down I-35. We stayed in Elephant Rock Campground. We were at campsite number 53, and when you saw us eating dinner at Nona and Pops' campsite, they were at campsite number 38. And that was a pretty cool site because it was very heavily wooded. Lots of trees, lots of cover, lots of shade, but also a lot of wind block. And that was a very bad thing for this week because it was like 107 heat index when we got there and we're setting up our campsite. So of course by the time we're done setting up, we're just dripping with sweat. It was so hot. And we went to jump in the lake to cool off before we went to dinner, and the lake was like bath water. We were moving around trying to find little cold spots to set in for a minute just to cool off. Overall, the whole week it was hot. It was really, really hot. I think if we do this trip again next year, which we're going to plan on doing, if it's above 95, we probably won't do it. Our RV had a really hard time. It's just got one AC unit, and it had a really hard time keeping that whole thing cool. You know, when we would sit down to eat dinner, it was pretty stuffy inside that RV because it just got so hot outside. The air conditioner couldn't keep up. Overnight it was fine. We slept good. Temperature overnight was good. We had a lot of fun. You know, we the first day we just kind of hung out at the lake and had some cold brews while we lounged in the water. We did go to Tucker Tower. The Nature Center did that whole thing. That's pretty cool. And then Thursday we did the Island Cruiser, which we got that from Lake Murray Water Sports and Miniature Golf is what it's called. And it's pretty much the only place like it on Lake Murray. It wasn't bad. It was 4 hours, $200. Nona and Pops paid for half of it since they tagged along with us. That was pretty cool. We had an absolute blast. Kids love the jet ski, and it was a lot of fun. So it was a good way. You know, you could go out there in deeper water, and the water was a lot cooler, so it was a lot nicer to be in that water. As you saw, Millie got a little freaked out by the catfish, but you know, that is what it is. It was pretty cool to have those fish swimming around the boat. Jet ski was fun. Then earlier this morning, you know, we broke down camp as early as possible to try to keep from getting too hot, and then jumped in the lake for a little bit, and then we went straight from the lake to hitting the road. So all in all, it was a really good trip. I think we're going to plan on doing it again next year. Like I said, if it's really hot, we probably will cancel the trip just because we don't want to go through that again. It was more miserable, more unenjoyable than last camping trip when it was in the mid-90s. You know, this time it was 102, 105, and it was just too much. So hopefully we get to do it again next year and it won't be so hot, but overall we had a great time. Like I said, we were in Elephant Rock, campsite 53. Nona and Pops were in campsite 38, and then if you're looking to stay down there, Elephant Rock campsite 47 is actually really cool. It was unoccupied. I really couldn't figure out why. It's a really, really cool campsite. It is right by the boat dock, so maybe it makes it unappealing for some people, but it's big. It's not, you know, it's the last one in line before the lake, and it's a really cool site if you want to go down there and check it out. So anyways, hope you guys had fun with this video as well, and we'll see you in a couple months on our next one. Thanks.